Inspiration drawn from Greek and Roman mythology has been extremely popular in video games as of late, though they've been featured in the medium for well over a decade at this point. From mere references to names all the way to featuring the characters of the original stories themselves, it's obvious that the influence from Greek and Roman-based mythology has become a trend that is not slowing down. And Elden Ring is no exception. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I want to say a big thank you for all the birthday wishes, they were lovely, and another thank you for your patience while I took some much needed time off to celebrate. If you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss a single upload from me. In recent years, mythology has made a big comeback in video games, with titles such as God of War, Hades, Returnal, Horizon Zero Dawn, and even Elden Ring, all taking bits and pieces from mythology to shape their characters, lore, and the world that each take place in. Within the lands between, though, the inspiration is a little more hidden and not so in your face. The first nod is the reference to Nox, or Nyx in Greek mythology, the Roman goddess and personification of the night. In the lands between, the Nox are a group of people who were punished by the Greater Will, their sky being torn from them and then buried deep underground. Nox is known to have stood at the beginning of the universe, witnessing its very creation. She was also written as a mother to many, most notable being Somnus and Mors, or sleep and death, their Greek names being Hypnos and Thanatos. Nox is what is known as a primordial god, primordial meaning to exist at or from the beginning of time. The Nox people and Nox herself are both very ancient, originating well before the current people and gods in the present. Nox also presides in the underworld, just as the Nox people have been punished to remain underground. These similarities may be slight, but it's still a very interesting connection. There is also a seemingly small connection to the primordial crucible of life, which the aspects of Crucible Horns explains is where all life was once blended together. This leads me to FromSoft's second reference. The life of the first gods came from the primordial gods in Greek and Roman mythology, starting with Kronos, or Father Time, who then produced ether, chaos, and then finally an egg. This cosmic or world egg would then hatch Phanes, the Orphic primeval deity of procreation. Something I wanted to note is that this idea of a world egg actually originates from Sanskrit hymns and scriptures. The word used for it quite literally translates to golden womb or golden fetus. There is an obvious connection between the cosmic egg and the amber egg clutched by Rennala, queen of the full moon. The amber egg is a great rune known as the Rune of the Unborn and was gifted to Rennala by Radagon. This theory is strengthened by the original description, with both sharing a similar color and being involved in birth. What is even more interesting is that Phanes, who the egg hatched, is also noted to be a hermaphroditic deity, or having both reproductive organs, and is said to have birthed the first gods or titans depending on which source you look at. Radagon and Queen Marika are one and the same, and each of the demigods in the lands between can trace their existence back to them. This all leads me to the possibility of Radagon being born of the amber egg before gifting it to his first wife. Something additionally interesting about Phanes is that they're described as the first god expressible and acceptable to human ears. As we've seen in the lands between, the Elden Ring and the influence of the Greater Will is cyclical in nature. Before Queen Marika, there was another god, one that Dragon Lord Placidusac served and continues to wait for in the heart of the storm. This previous god seems to have presided over dragons and beasts based on the appearance of Farum Azula and the presence of both dragons and beastmen. Rennala's full moon, Rani's dark moon and the Nox's new moon did influence the people in the lands between, but none were broadly accepted, nor were they ever able to take any type of human form the way the Greater Will could. The first god to truly rule over humans in the lands between appears to be Queen Marika and Radagon of the Golden Order. The next and final reference I'll be analyzing is that of Miquella and the Roman god Mercury. Miquella is a traditionally feminine name that seemingly has two meanings. One is who is like God, and the other is the one who passes the message of God. I'll be mainly focusing on the second of the two, since Mercury was the god of messages, as well as many other things. His Grecian counterpart is the god Hermes. This theory originated in a long-winded conversation with fellow lore enthusiasts, including Rejikari. If you're interested, I'd highly recommend checking out his channel for some more Elden Ring related content. Miquella is said to be the most powerful Empyrean by his sister, and yet we do not witness or hear of his power in strength, battles, or mastery of sorcery. Instead, it seems as though Miquella's powers are far more subtle than any of the other demigods. As I concluded in my God of Blood video, Miquella seems to possess the ability to manipulate the wills of others and garner favor and loyalty from those around him. In that same aspect, Mercury was also known to be a trickster god. Miquella's needle is the final stage of the unalloyed gold needle. It's described as a ritual implement crafted to ward away the meddling of outer gods. The needle appears to be closely influenced by the caduceus, or the wand given to Mercury by Apollo. The caduceus' most notable traits are the wings attached to the top of the wand and the two snakes that wrap themselves around it. The origin suggests that the snakes were not originally a part of the wand, but instead came after. One myth states that the two snakes were found by Mercury in combat, and the gods separated them with his wand, thus creating peace and the signature double helix design we know of today. This is interesting when we compare the unalloyed gold needle to Miquella's needle. After exposing it to Malenia's bloom, the needle develops a new ability, cleansing one of the frenzied flame, and a double helix design around it. The original wand was said to be able to do many things, such as awaken the sleeping and send those awake into a deep slumber. It was also thought that the wand would give a gentler death to those who are dying, and if used on the dead, it would resurrect them. This could represent Miquella's attempt at curing his sister's scarlet rot, but only merely being able to stop the progression. The unalloyed gold needle is also able to stop the progression of scarlet rot in Millicent, so it's not just limited to Malenia. There is also the connection between Miquella, Saint Trina, and sleep. As I've covered in my Ordina Liturgical Town video, there are Albinaurics who have seemingly traveled to the consecrated snowfields following Miquella and his halig tree. But across the snowfields, you can find the portal to Mohgwyn's palace, specifically the cliffside looking out at the palace. And there you will find many sleeping second-generation Albinaurics. Mercury was also known as a guide for souls taken to the underworld. And then there is the resurrection aspect of the caduceus. The spirit summoning ashes of Lutel the Headless states, Lutel sacrificed her life so that in death she could continue to protect a soulless demigod until their revival, earning her the hero's honor of an Erdtree burial. There is also a spirit atop Castle Sol who remarks, "Forgive me, Lord Miquella, the sun has not been swallowed, your comrade remains soulless." This seems to refer to an attempt by Miquella to resurrect Godwyn the Golden, his half-brother, from the dead. Godwyn the Golden was the first of the demigods to die. These are all just theories, but it is fascinating to look at how mythology from several thousand years ago still influences the worlds and characters we interact with to this very day. Let me know which of these interests you or resonates with you the most. If you like this topic, please be sure to let me know down below so I know to make more videos about this in the future. I did have an idea about comparing places in the lands between to that in mythology, so let me know if you guys would be interested in something like that. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to talk to you all in the next one. Bye!